Today we're heading to the countryside to look at the history of a game that made farming fun, Harvest Moon. In an era dominated by RPGs, platformers, and action games, Harvest Moon dared to be different. It introduced players to a peaceful life simulation experience filled with farming, relationships, and small-town charm. But how did this series come to life and where is it today? Let's dig in. The story of Harvest Moon begins in Japan in the mid-1990s with a game designer named Yasuhiro Wada. Inspired by his childhood memories of the countryside, Wada wanted to create a game that focused on the simplicity and joy of farm life, something that didn't revolve around fighting or saving the world. At the time, this was a risky idea. Farming in a video game? That wasn't exactly the most exciting pitch, but Wada and his team at Amicus, under the publishing label Pac-In Video, pushed forward in August 1996. The first Harvest Moon was released for the Super Famicom. The concept was simple yet addictive. Players took on the role of a young farmer who inherited a rundown farm. Their goal? Grow crops, raise animals, build relationships, and balance hard work with small-town life. Unlike other games at the time, Harvest Moon had no villains, no final boss, and no game over screen, just a relaxing, open-ended experience. Harvest Moon quickly gained a dedicated fanbase, and in 1997 it was localized for North America by Natsume Inc. Despite being an unusual game for Western audiences, it was surprisingly well received. The success of the original led to multiple sequels across different platforms, each improving on the formula. Harvest Moon 64, released in 1999 on the Nintendo 64, considered one of the best entries. It expanded the town, added deep relationships, and refined farming mechanics. Harvest Moon Back to Nature, released in 1999 on PS1, the first Harvest Moon on PlayStation, offering enhanced graphics and an improved social system. And Harvest Moon Friends of Mineral Town, released in 2003 on the Game Boy Advance, one of the most beloved entries, introducing portability to the farming experience. As the series evolved, Harvest Moon added new mechanics like seasonal festivals, rival marriages, and even magical elements like harvest sprites and goddess quests. For years, Harvest Moon was developed by Marvelous Interactive and published by Natsume in the West. However, in 2014, a major shakeup occurred. Marvelous decided to self-publish future games under a new name, Story of Seasons. However, Natsume still owned the Harvest Moon brand in the West. Instead of losing the name, Natsume began developing their own farming games under the Harvest Moon title, while Marvelous continued the true series as Story of Seasons. This led to a split in the fanbase. Story of Seasons by Marvelous, the original developers, keeping the classic Harvest Moon gameplay alive. Harvest Moon by Natsume, new farming games with the Harvest Moon name but developed separately and with mixed reception. Despite the confusion, the farming simulation genre continued to thrive, especially with the rise of indie games like Stardew Valley in 2016, which was heavily inspired by classic Harvest Moon titles. From humble beginnings on the Super NES to influencing an entire genre, Harvest Moon remains a cherished series for many gamers. Whether you prefer the classic titles, Story of Seasons, or even modern farming sims, there's no denying the impact the franchise had on gaming history. Do you remember the first time you played Harvest Moon? Or is it still in your backlog? Or is it going to be added? That's a wrap for this episode of Love's Retro Rumble. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your fellow gamers. Got thoughts, memories, or favorite moments from today's topic? Hit us up on our social media. Until next time, keep playing, keep exploring, keep looking for secret areas, and stay retro.